Welcome to another episode of the Lotus 7 restoration, specifically continuing to make patterns for fixing the fiberglass. So, if you're following this, that you probably are used to seeing that, but just not upside down. So that is the fill panel for in the wheel well that gets the correct shape, and the buck that I finished up. And it's upside down right now. And I took the filler for the wheel well and I made one for the right and got all of the match lines marked out so that when everything's assembled on the other side, it can go correctly. And a different little subject to add into this, because it's been I just kind of noticed for everybody with we'll say Series 4, you might have noticed, and it took me a while to actually look at old photos of other cars I was looking at before I bought this one, is that the fender on the normal S4s is square. Comes out, it's flat, it's square. This is rounded. Nicely rounded. So this is, I think, by, we'll say, everything I'm considering from what I'm researching is that this is basically a one-off. Now, the other 4 cars that Steel Brothers made with the, we'll say, the rounded fenders, and they're wider. The whole body is wider. This is on a standard size S4 chassis, except that the, we'll say standard width, but the front has been extended. So if it's a standard width chassis, then the tub is the same, and just the fenders have been changed. I haven't checked the wings to see if there's any difference in them, but let's just say that this is definitely different from the normal Series 4. And if this is on a standard width chassis and the other 4 are wider chassis because they're wider interiors, then this makes this a definite one-off body. There is not another version of this. This is, because this was the prototype, so it is a one-off. Similar to the other 4, but yet different. Now I'm sure the molds, the section of the mold which does the fenders, might be the same, but I think really looking at this as an independent one of its own. When the paint comes off, be able to see if they took an existing one and modified it, or if they made a brand new one for this. So, curious future to check on this. Well, after all it took to get the left side bucked together, now I'm taking it apart again, and I do believe I've already mentioned that I need to put this location hole into, so this would be my number 1 pattern, and this is for the right side. So I am locating, I match them up, drill the location hole, and if there's any adjustments in trimming, I mark it. And I have done a witness mark, an alignment mark, across the face and across the top. So that's the progress in the right side, getting the right side assembled. Plus I'm taking the blocks that I made and pulling them out and making replacements for the right side. This is the right side buck, and I have made up all of the spacer blocks and the 1/4 inch rod and put them all together to start the alignment there. And I transferred, we'll say, all those alignment marks to them. I just have to figure out how I'm going to get a reverse of the left side here to make the right. How am I going to get the reverse? How do I stay in alignment when I put it together? It was nice to have the old thread through, because that was a great point, but I don't have that on this side. So I'm still, let's say I'm waiting inspiration to figure out how to replicate this on the other side to keep it in alignment, because at least this starts off well with everything, we'll say, to the front. So continuing on. This is the right side buck that I've started assembling, and there's the underside buck, and I used this rubber to approximate the thickness of the fiberglass. See if I could, the idea of assembling it on the buck as to how well will that go. And it has its good points and bad points about it, but I'm going to let's go look at the fender. Let's first look at the left side. Although these are the patterns I made for the right, so they don't go to this side of the line, they go to the other side of the line. So we take the bottom pattern, which I call G, and it fits very nice in there. Now for the next one above, which is F, and you have to remember that the bottom edge is what's actually going to mate the other side. Do I have it right? Okay. You'll see how it pretty much lines up. Remember, it is the bottom edge that will be dominant on the other side when I flip this. Alright, we're on the right side, and that hole right there is about where this goes, because that's about where it lines up on the other side. Now the inside is not bad, we have a lot of damage, but then you'll see the large gap that down at the bottom here, the very bottom, the fender is not out enough. It's out of shape. Now to the next one above, which is about here, and you can see there's a gap there, but it's tight here, which is the outside of the fender is growing outward. So then if I grab the next one in line, which is E for me. Sorry about the camera, guys. You can see the large gap to where the fender is growing outward even more. And this then progresses. This is then D. Sorry, I gotta have hands for this. Sorry about that, guys. But D is right about here. You'll see the huge gap there and tight there. So down at the very bottom, this needs to come out, but then as you go up, it needs to go in. And there is no lip, return lip. That's all was gone, and they built this back. I am considering if, in order to get the patterns to start, taking off a section of this where it's large, it's going to be redone anyway. It's going to be rebuilt totally in order to get the pattern buck to start, because I have this pretty much all the way down to work off of, and it is this area, which is bad. It's just this is keeping the pattern buck from coming in. So my thoughts are maybe the best thing is to cut a section of this away. It's got to come out anyway because it's wrong. That the pattern buck could be put together better, and put the interior in, set the interior pattern buck in also, because I have the key points of this and a few other places. If I set the inside pattern buck in and then trim the outside, a combination, and then build the pattern buck on the outside up against the body curve there, which is for the most part still good. I think I can do this, putting it together. That's my thought. I want to talk to the body guy. I was going to do the repairs and see if he minds if I cut a section of this away. It will weaken. It will weaken it when I do that. So, well, this is about where I'm going to end this video. So, from the Motor House, I'm Chris. Thank you for watching.